You ever fuck somebody with handcuffs on their legs? Why would you do that to yourself? I take the shit. I take the legs out of the pants. I open up those two legs like I fucking hold the fort.
Wait, what about in public bathrooms?
That too.
No fucking way.
I don't give a fuck. If you're looking in here, it means you're looking for dick to the peephole. You know what I'm saying?
No, man, you're supposed to be like a catcher.
I
You
take
get
the
down and
leg out.
squat.
I take the leg out, and then I rip my one ass cheek out, and I put it on the toilet seat, so there's no misunderstanding. So my asshole is in perfect position.
God, Joe.
It's like when the Koreans are gonna send a missile. You know that thing moves over. Just like that. I'm positioned to open up the fucking thing. I fingered an Indian chick in Boise, Idaho one time on the dance floor. I was fingering her. She had a yeast infection. How can, I took my hand out and it was covered in yogurt. How the fuck does that happen? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, how the fuck? Did you hear that fart? That was a good fart.
Who farted? You did?
Yeah. Kombucha. And she was good looking. But then one night he took her to a party and she sucked 22 dicks.
Come on.
I heard she burped and came out at the end and said, "Who's next?" So then I heard like a month later she blew 18 more guys.
Come on.
So they started calling her Marathon Woman. And she would sit in class and people would go, "Marathon, Marathon." I'll never forget her taking a picture. She was a year older than me and looking at the yearbook and seeing her like, like Marathon, and then like seeing like her name, like Mary, whatever her name was, and most likely to succeed. And I'm like, she sucked 40 dicks in 2 nights without even burping. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you'll never see a black Boy Scout. You'll never see Mr. Williams let his kid be a Boy Scout. He knows those are racist in training and shit.
Even though there's 1,000 of them, but I'm gonna go with John. You shouldn't be a black Boy Scout. I'm just gonna say.
I'm telling you right now, you never seen a black Boy Scout. They're either gay or KKK. Those little kids, they either come out to be gay or KKK. Either the fucking troop leader fucks them in the muffler, Sandusky style.
Not in the muffler.
Sandusky style.
You gotta get out.
It's like doggy
They fuck them
style.
in the tent, and they send them out into the wilderness. What do you think is going to happen to these poor kids? You think they're going to survive? They're going to move to Santa Monica Boulevard. That's the only thing that's close.
Get you some roller skates.
Yeah, get some roller skates at the Gap Band. What the fuck are you doing on a cruise ship? Who goes on a fucking cruise ship?
I agree.
Who the
I
fuck
hate
goes
it.
on a fucking cruise ship?
I hate
If
them.
you're thinking about going on a cruise ship, shoot yourself right the fuck now. You cannot be that fucking retarded walking around with 3 fucking thousand people.
Yeah.
I hate
breathing the same air
Yes,
in a little fucking
exactly.
room, eating that fucking Malouk
Shitty food.
Dog, I went on one. I went on one fucking
Yeah,
cruise.
terrible.
But that was because I
Terrible.
was 21 and she let me fuck her in the ass. About 8 years ago, I started shitting in tubs because I just couldn't take it no more.
Shut up.
While I was taking a shower, I get out.
No.
Let me tell you something. For some reason or another, listen to me, Jezebel. For some reason or another, for about 2 years, I hate going. I like shitting before I go in the shower. But I like shitting before I go in the shower. I don't want to take a shower and then walk around with a dirty ass all day because it leaks. You got to stop every hour and clean it, and then it gets hot out. So I don't like it. I like taking a shit before I go in the shower. But there's some days the system don't work according to your fucking pussy schedule. So you wash and then you come out. Some days I was taking a shower and as soon as the water would hit my back, I'd have to take a shit.
And he had the worst.
Let me tell you something. When you got to dry off
And
to
take
take
a
a
shit?
and it
you
makes
sit
you
in a
have to
wet
go to the
toilet?
bathroom as soon as the water hits you. So sometimes you do sit on a wet toilet and it's a horrible
It's
feeling.
the worst feeling.
It's a horrible feeling. So for a while there, I was just saying, fuck it, let me just shit while I'm taking a shower. So I did a movie. I booked a movie called Pizza and Bullets.
Sounds great.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And they had the girl from The Godfather. But I went and shot the first scene, and I'm like, I'm not going back.
You did it.
And the next day, I had a 6 a.m. call, and I got coked up to the gills. And they came knocking on my door, and I went out and I grabbed the kid, threw him and shit. And they called the cops. It was hysterical. And they're like, don't you want to be in this movie? I'm like, I never want to be in your fucking movie again. The casting director called me and said he'd never book me again. He was going to call everybody.
Fuck Pizza and
And
Bullets.
tell them that I was a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And the director called me and I yelled at him. And now the director's trying to be my friend on LinkedIn. Fuck him. Fuck him. I don't even have LinkedIn, but I saw his name. I'm like, look at this fucking creepy dude. When I was disgusting, I jerk off on a shirt and put it on. Like I'm one of those.
Yeah?
You unfold that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like that starch.
Looks
got
like a
that sticky
tie-dye.
icky. It looks like somebody shot it with something hard, like candle wax.
You need to clarify.
So when the other day I got out of the car, I was listening to Elton John, and I was blasting. I was stoned, you know, and the weed and the music just connect as one. And I pulled up to the house, and they were like out there, and I opened up the window, and I go, nobody in this country remembers when Elton John used to sling dick like a motherfucker. And they just looked at me, looked at each other, went in the house. That's a cigarette. That's nicotine. Yeah. That's good, but it'll take away the dizziness.
Kiss the frog for luck. Okay, so
This is the
yours
grape
is
bait?
filled. I'll fill mine. People are bound to say on the internet that Doug kept using the small one. Because it's always a competition.
Tremendous.
Oh, God. Here we go.
I like it. Where's the medic? Get him in here just in case, you know what I'm saying? I feel a little fibrillation. No, I'm feeling great. This is tremendous. No, don't get the med. I'm just fucking with you. Are you
Did
kidding
he really
me?
come in?
No, I don't even want the med in here. He's bad luck.
Daniel's
No,
trying
I
to
don't
go
want
get him?
No, I don't like doctors around when I'm getting high. They're bad luck. They put a fucked up feel in the room, you know?
Like, I remember, like, I watched that movie Taxi. Not Taxi Driver, but the Jimmy Fallon, Queen Latifah
Queen
one.
Latifah
Yeah.
one.
Right? You're in that movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the movie going, the only thing I remember is Joey Diaz being in it. He's so funny. Or Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You remember Spider-Man?
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah, the
You were in
second
that.
one.
The second one, I mean.
Second
You were in that.
14 days, one line.
2 weeks?
Those are the good old days.
Yeah.
Overtime.
Yeah.
Drinking pomegranate juice, smoking dope in my green room and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks,
Damn.
one line. Joey, you're too big to be hanging out in the train. Go to the,
Yeah.
go to the green room. When I booked it, it was one day.
Yeah.
And then they called me in June. They go to wardrobe. And when I went to wardrobe, they're like, you start working next week. I'm like, what are you talking about? I got July 31st. They're like, nah. Those were the good old days.
Good
man.
old days.
They let you sit for 2 days.
Or you're like in your trailer and you fall asleep for like 7 or 8 hours, and you open your eyes, you don't know where you are, and then you get a knock, and then some nerd.
We're not going to use you today.
Yeah.
You
You
can
go
go home.
home, and you're like, wow, it was a great nap.
That was fucking great.
Yeah.
Lobster tails on Friday. On Spider-Man 2,
Yeah,
lobster tail on Friday. And white people still be eating salads and apple pie. I'm eating lobster tails to go. I got 19 lobster tails.
Yeah.
I'm shoving lobster tail in every pocket. And then our big thing on Saturdays was we'd snort THC crystal, take a bus into the city.
The keef, you would snort the keef? Is that what
Listen, THC crystal is what you sold it to Bert as. On the street, it was fucking PCP.
I got
It was gorilla tranquilizers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
This is the shit that they would shoot.
That sounds
You ever see
kinda nice.
what was that show when we were kids? Omaha, whatever, about animals, wild animals, the Mutual of Omaha. And then
I know what you're talking
when
about.
you see a leopard, they
Yeah,
shoot him
they
and he'd
shoot
go
him.
over. That's what we were snorting.
All right.
It was like animal tranquilizers. So take me, you, Rogan, Bert, Tom, 9 of us. We'd split 3 $10 bags. We'd buy $30 worth, and we'd each do a little line, and we'd jump on a bus on Saturdays, go to New York City, jump off on Times Square, and we'd go, all right, you, Bert, and Tom, see you later. We'll meet at 5 o'clock in Port Authority on 181st Street. So you got to see how to get there. And it's just a foggy world, man.
I'll bet.
We would walk like 20 blocks, then we'd jump on a train for 10, then we'd sit on a park bench for an hour, and fuck, when it was really hitting you, like, we'd be in Harlem talking to black people, and the next thing you know, we had to get to fucking 181st. It was a fun time, and my mother had no control. I was doing great in school freshman year, and then I got initiated into the boys.